Welcome, fiends and fellow architects of the unsettling. I'm Jayce Ran, and tonight I'll share the beating black heart of what makes horror, real horror, work on the page. Inspiring fear not just in your characters, but in your readers themselves. Fear isn't about cheap shocks or the monster behind the curtain. It's the art of burrowing unease into the marrow of the reader, coaxing dread from the edges of what is seen and unseen, what is said and unsaid. If you want your fiction to linger like a shadow at the edge of a darkened room, you have to master the language of fear. Let's start with a fundamental truth. Fear is intimate. Readers need to feel vulnerable, exposed, even complicit. To do that, horror fiction must be immersive. Set your stories in places that feel real, with characters who bleed anxiety and hope in equal measure. Ground your terror in concrete sensory details, peeling wallpaper that smells faintly of mildew, the scuff of footsteps across a warped floor, the copper tang of blood in the air. Let your prose worm its way into the reader's nervous system so every creak and whisper becomes personal. But don't over-explain. Fear thrives in negative space. What you withhold is often more terrifying than what you reveal. Let the reader's imagination do the heavy lifting. Describe the symptoms of the thing, not always the thing itself, the unnatural silence after the phone call, the way the dog refuses to enter a particular room, the inexplicable cold seeping from a locked closet. Suggest, hint, leave ragged edges. Trust your audience to fill in the blanks, and trust that what they conjure will be far worse than anything you describe. Pacing is your scalpel. Terror needs rhythm. Moments of quiet dread, punctuated by sudden spikes of panic, like a heart monitor spiking in the dark. Don't rush the buildup. Linger on the ordinary until it sours into the uncanny. When you escalate, do so ruthlessly. Pull the rug at precisely the wrong moment. The reader should never feel entirely safe. If they settle in, you've lost the edge. Vary your sentence structure. Short, panicked fragments in moments of crisis. Long, winding sentences that build a choking sense of inevitability. Voice and point of view are your accomplices. First-person narration can trap a reader in the character's anxieties, their unreliable memories, and desperate rationalizations. Third-person limited lets you drip-feed unease through filtered perception. However you frame it, use internal monologue and sensory overload to collapse the distance between reader and character. Make the reader feel the crawling doubt, the breath catching in the throat. Dialogue, too, is a weapon. People rarely say what they mean when frightened. Let your characters stammer, backtrack, utter platitudes that ring false. Allow fear to shape how they interact. Half-spoken warnings. The lie that hides the truth. The confession that comes too late. Most importantly, remember that true fear is existential. The monster under the bed is terrifying, yes, but what's worse is what it represents. Isolation, guilt, the certainty that something is irrevocably wrong in the world. Tap into universal anxieties, loss, helplessness, the unknown. Use symbolism and recurring motifs, a flickering light bulb that never quite goes out, a repeated phrase that haunts the text, the return of something thought long buried. Layer your horror so that even as the immediate threat fades, a deeper dread lingers. To inspire fear with a literary word is to become a conductor of nightmares, an architect of emotional landscapes. Every detail, every omission, every trembling syllable is a tool. Craft your horror with care, and your reader will carry its shadow long after they close the book. In the next lesson, we'll dig into constructing those unforgettable monsters and phantoms that lurk just outside the candle's glow. For now, go forth and write something that keeps even you up at night.